everybody? It's your boy Luke here with a surprise video, our round 1 prize picks targets for the LIV golf event in London. I was not expecting to see prize picks put up props this early for the LIV, but oh boy, am I happy to be surprised at times. In this video, we'll be going over my top 5 props for the first round, as well as what to expect from the Centurion Club in London. This is a golf course we haven't seen all that often. Of course, on the PGA Tour, it's not on the circuit. We've seen it for the Aramco, a few other LPGA European Tour events, so it's not like it's completely in the dark, but trying to find stats, that sort of thing, is not going to be possible. So just doing as much of a deep dive as we can on the golf course and going to give you all of the research that I was able to dig up. So excited to hop into it. Whether you agree with this tour or not, it's going to be exciting to see how it pans out. And as we watch, whether this is a clown show or something that's a well-oiled machine this weekend come together, we can have some bets and sweat it out at the same time. So gonna hop into it here. First off with our research at the Centurion Club. All right, we've got the Pro Visualizer tool on the screen to get an idea of what the Centurion Club is all about. So it's listed as a par 74. On Prize Picks, they have it listed as a par 70. On the LIV Golf website, no mention of a scorecard or what to expect from the golf course. So kind of hard to tell what the number's going to be, right? If we're just gonna go based on what they have on their website and of course what we have on Pro Visualizer, it is a par 74. It has 7 par 5s, 6 par 4s, and 5 par 3s. So even if they convert 2 or 3 of these to par 4s, you're still looking at an extremely gettable golf course. There's par 4s that are only 384 yards and par 5s that are less than 500 yards. So I'd imagine this to be a relatively scoreable golf course, which isn't really a surprise given that this is the flagship event for the LIV. I'd imagine they want it to be exciting, some birdies to be out there, and to make it more of a fireworks type of event rather than something where the winning score is going to be around even. So just from a scoring standpoint, I'd expect this to be gettable. If you take a look at just some of the overhead looks, we'll bring this over here into 3D Planner, you'll see that it is tree lined. There's quite heavy tree lines, particularly on the front 9. We'll just do a little bit of a zoom out here. So you can see heavy tree line during the left and the right side here. And that's a commonality for almost all of the holes here. It seems like you have some room off the tee, but if you miss 30, 40 yards offline, there are some big numbers out there. So you'll see a lot of our fades are going to be with strokes, because if you get into that trouble, particularly if you're somebody who hasn't played much golf of late, could put up some double, triple bogeys. So that's going to make it an easy fade. And of course, if this is a par 74 and Prize Picks is accounting for it to be a par 70, a lot of those fades on strokes are going to be pretty much free money at that point. So something that I've already targeted, and with the birdies are better because you have some of those easy par 5s, those short par 4s. No matter whether they set it up as a par 70 or a 74, I'm expecting there to be plenty of scoring to go around. So with that being said, let's go ahead and hop into the props that I like. So let's start with birdies are better, the guys that I'll be supporting here, which up top I'm taking Taylor Gooch, Sergio Garcia, and Dustin Johnson. They're 3 of the quote-unquote actual professionals in the field, guys that are in the top 50 of the official World Golf Rankings. And first off, the guys like Taylor Gooch and Garcia at 3.5, I think that's just far too low. Whether they play this as a par 70 or a 74, like I said, there's still some gettable holes out there, let alone the fact that you still have 10 to 12 holes that are PGA Tour average in terms of difficulty. We're looking at these guys birding it at a 20, maybe 25% clip. So I like what we're seeing from these players. I mean, Sergio's been striping the ball of late. It's not like he's been in horrible form on tour. And Taylor Gooch, same story. He's been posting some pretty solid finishes. So you're telling me you're getting 2 of the best players in the field at 3.5 birdies, which is comparable to some of these guys we haven't seen for quite some time, like a Martin Keimer, Pablo Larzal. I mean, just lower quality players. I'm going to be all over it. So I like going to those 2 at 3.5. And I even like Dustin Johnson at 4 birdies. And while he has to get to 5 to hit, he has a ton of push equity. And even if they play it as a long par 70, he has more than enough length to take advantage of these holes. So I'm taking the over on all 3 of those players, all guys that I have projected for at least 1 more birdie than their projection. And lastly, the 2 fades, which are going to be for strokes. And whether this is a par 70 or a 74, I'm comfortable fading both of these guys. And it's going to be Phil Mickelson and Martin Keimer, both of which we haven't seen play much golf. I mean, particularly Mickelson, who's been MIA for the last 3 to 4 months, would not surprise me if he's extremely rusty, goes out there and doesn't look like a shell of his former self, shoots something like 3 or 4 over par. Martin Keimer, we have seen him play a little bit on tour, but it hasn't been very solid when he's played. It's been missed cuts. Even on the European Tour, hasn't been quite as sharp as we're used to seeing. So in terms of fades, I'm willing to fade both of them, and particularly if it's going to be a par 74. I mean, I don't see them shooting 6 under par, right? If it's a par 70, I still don't see them shooting 2 under par in that difficult type of track. So I'm going to be fades that I'm going with. This doesn't give you a 12.5x payout. I'm not sure whether that's because it's not a PGA line, just because it's for the LIV Golf, it's being treated differently or something like that. But that's the type of card I'm going to be going with here for the first round. That's all I've got for the LIV Golf preview. Just a quick video. Obviously, it's brand new. We didn't have a ton of data to go off of, so not gonna bore you here for an hour or so with analysis, but looking forward to covering this for the second and third round there too. They don't have 4-round tournaments. It's gonna be 3 rounds for the LIV. So with the prize picks videos dropping for round 2 and round 3 of the RBC Canadian Open, also look out for my top 5 LIV Golf props. It's where I'm gonna post them. I'm just gonna combine the videos into one going forward to make it a simpler process. But I appreciate all the support here. If you haven't already smashed a like button, make sure you go ahead and do that. And also, go ahead and comment down below what your favorite prop on the board is for the LIV Golf Tournament. I appreciate all of that. Again, best of luck with all of your slips here for the first round, and let's get this cash.